YouTube, this is Stash, the Polish-American vlogger. What's up? I'm coming at you with another vlog. This is Stash, the Polish-American vlogger. For Polonia and Poland, I've decided to, kind of read off a list of biographical sketches to talk up the Polish pride, Polish-American pride, and Poland pride. Polonia is what's the immigrants to America is known as, the Polish Americans. So, biographical sketches, Polish power. All right. Yeah, Ivan Putski, the great wrestler, was one of the greatest. Stanislaw Zbigniew. I got a YouTube I did on him. I'll leave that in the liner notes. The Polish power, Ivan Putski. But that's entertainment. So on a more important level, in Poland, in the war, 1920, Poland got into a fight with the Soviets of Russia and defeated them. Google the miracle of Vistula, or Red Star, White Eagle. Polish code breakers broke codes in that war, and it helped greatly to victory, as they also did in the big war, World War II. It's not just Alan Turing of the Imitation Game. Polish code breakers, mathematicians, were known for being good at that. That goes a lot to fighting the negative stereotype of the Poles, right? Who's smarter than the code breaker? Mathematician. Bletchley Park, the code breaking, kind of the counterpart to our code breakers of NSA in the United States. I'll leave that in the liner notes. They made an apology and invited the families of the great code breakers of Poland to sort of apologize. And there's actually a game show, and the famous actor Stephen Wright was the host. He asked somebody who broke the codes in World War II. Polish baby. So yeah, and then going against that stereotype of the dumb thing, the stupid thing. Nicholas Copernicus was a Pole. He paved the way for Galileo. Great scientist, great man. Read about him. If you're Polish or not Polish, check him out. He was a Pole. Perhaps if it was not for Copernicus, we would still think that the sun revolved around the earth. He led the way to Galileo, or contributed in that process. Great scientist, Nicholas Copernicus. And the next on my list is Chopin. Chopansky was French, but he was also a Pole, and Poland claims him as their son. He is one of the greatest composers ever. Listen to his work. I've used some of his piano sonatas in some of my more lucid and better YouTubes. Okay, so Ryszard Kukliński was a great spy during the Cold War. There's a movie about him called Jack Strong. Without Kukliński, the Americans would have been completely blind to the Warsaw Pact forces and their activities in certain ways. Without UMIT intelligence, Kukliński was a great spy for the CIA and assisted in the fight against the Soviets greatly. See that movie Jack Strong? Ryszard Kukliński. Next on my list, my friends. Yeah, don't forget him. I mean, everybody knows him, but don't forget that Pope John Paul II, the Pope that traveled around the most and reached out more than any other pontiff around the world, was the great Polish Pope. Cardinal Wojtyła, otherwise known as Pope John Paul II, was also a great Cold Warrior. Along with Ronald Reagan, they did a significant amount to making the wall fall, and our Russian brothers over there maybe should be kind of thankful to the Pope in that regard. So don't forget him. But he's more well known. But don't forget that he's a Pole, Wojtyła, Pope John Paul. Okay, so the greatest fighter pilot of the European theater of operations, which some may argue was more difficult because of the incredible German expertise in aircraft building, the Luftwaffe was indeed a formidable enemy. The best pilot of the European theater of operations was Francis Stanley Gabby Gabreski. Contact people in your area, get a statue up to him, call and or email the post office, tell him to get his own stamp. There's Mickey Mouse, there's Donald Duck. What about Gabby Gabreski? Probably the greatest pilot of the Allied forces side in World War II in certain aspects. I say he is. He fought alongside his brothers in Poland also, and he also fought in the Korean War. I think at times also Ted Williams, the great patriot, they were over there. So he's got records, and he gave it his all. A lot of fighter pilot. He was aggressive. He was a cool, calm customer. Gabreski got up right behind the enemy pilots, as his brothers in Poland taught him to do, and he defeated the enemy. He was a winner. So, yeah, Gronkowski of the Patriots, doesn't talk about it much, but of course he's a Pole. And but you might want to, Gronk gets plenty of attention. Might want to check out Gabby. Although Gronk is the man. Now, even more lost and forgotten is arguably the greatest soldier in the history of the American military. He's either tied for the most or has the most. I personally think he has the most medals of any soldier of the United States military. But yet he's virtually unknown. Virtually unknown. That's Colonel Matt Urban. U-R-B-A-N. Colonel Matt Urban. He was an incredible war hero. His story should be a motion picture, but alas, it looks like he's lost to history. Okay, Witold Pilecki is known as the bravest man of World War II. He was a Polish Protestant fighter. He broke into the Auschwitz concentration camp to assist, and he also was a tremendous resistance fighter. Hopefully there's going to be a film on Witold Pilecki someday. He is often referred to as the bravest man in World War II. Can you believe that? He went into the camps. So he's brave. Don't forget that Poland is the largest exile force in World War II. That is, they were attacked by both Russia and Germany, sandwiched in there, and they were at Monte Cassino. Tragically, a lot of guys got killed, perhaps due to problems with the Allies during Market Garden, and others. I'm going to be talking about this more in the future, but there's a book, No Greater Ally. I'll leave that in the liner notes. Okay, so don't forget, their contribution is great to World War II, and they weren't allowed to march on Victory Day, and they were left behind the Iron Curtain at Yalta. So that's why a lot of Poles, you talk about Yalta, they were betrayed at Yalta. That's what they're talking about. Okay, so also the greatest fighter squadron of World War II on behalf of the Allies, and I think they're probably the greatest fighter squadron ever, is the 303 Kosciuszko Squadron, named after Tadeusz Kościuszko, the tremendous Polish war hero who helped General Washington, more than well known, in the Revolutionary War. The 303 Squadron was a great squadron in the Russian Polish Battle of 1920, and they went on to greatness in the Battle of Britain, the most sophisticated, biggest air battle in World War II. Larry Olivier gave him a little shout out in the movie Battle of Britain. But as far as I know, up until last year, 2018, they haven't had their own feature film. They've got it in the form of the movie Hurricane, which I blogged about before. So let's keep this biography going. Sorry if I'm not making this fast enough, but and I'm going to leave my list below, and I'm going to be doing another one of these tomorrow night. So that's how important it is, because the stereotypes And don't forget the Polish Americans and the Poles, okay? So the contribution to the Revolutionary War by Thaddeus Kościuszko and Kazimierz Pulaski is huge. I mean, the colonists used to name their sons Thaddeus over here. They contributed to cavalry operations, fort building, and they had a lot of skill. And they put it on the line. And in the case of Pulaski, he gave the ultimate sacrifice, laid his life down. He was killed in the Revolutionary War fighting. On behalf of the American rebels for freedom of the United States of America, yes. Don't forget how much the Poles contributed to victory. Victory. And I'm going to have more lists. Of course, yeah, I haven't listed enough Polish female greatness, but I'm going to end today's biographical sketches with, of course, Madame Curie was a Pole. She contributed immeasurably to science. I believe she was just voted the greatest female scientist by, and I'll leave in the line notes that award that she just received. But she was indeed a Pole. So there are others and other recommendations I have. But give me a shout if you have Poles and Polish American biographical sketches that have to be known, my friends. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. Share this if you're Polish. Make your own. Discuss it. Leave me some stuff in the liner notes. All right. Biographical sketches of great Poles and Polish Americans is a great thing to talk about. Okay. God bless everyone. Take care.